Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to toy-polloi. It's Sunday the 4th of December and I'm back at the Bath and West Showground for the last toy fair of the year. I'm here with my brother, so this is brother toy-polloi. We're going to be hunting around for all sorts of things. I don't particularly have anything on my list that I want to get, which is what I like when I come toy fair hunting. I just like to look, and sometimes you'll see something that you want to add to your collection. So let's head on in, see what we can find. Right, so I'm now back in the car and it's been a really good show. I picked up a few sort of choice items and some bits that I wanted for my collection that I sort of didn't know I wanted, but as soon as I saw them, I had to get them. And it's been really great chatting to some people who've watched the channel and other sort of friends and collectors that I know. So we've had a really good time. Let's head on back to toy-polloi and I'll show you what I found.
toy-polloi.
Right, so I'm now back home and I actually thought it was a pretty good toy fair. There was a lot of variety there today. Normally there's just a lot of dinky and trains and stuff, but today there were a good few stalls that had the sort of things that I like to collect. And I also got to see a lot of people who watched the channel and said hi to them, so that was really nice. And also one thing that was really exciting was that I've just got copies of my annual. If you didn't know, previously I've been writing an annual for Fusion Retro Books. They asked me to write an annual this year and I just got some copies of it. It's out now. I'm going to put links in the description if you want to grab yourself a copy. It is jam-packed full of all things toy and all the sort of things that I collect and talk about on this channel, and it's the ideal Christmas gift. And because I just managed to get some copies of this myself, I was able to give that out to some people who have sort of helped me along the way of creating toy-polloi videos. Lawrence at Toy Planet UK has always been a big supporter of me and helps me out with all sorts of toys, and Steve at Vintage 72 as well has helped me out with toys in the past, so I was able to give them copies as a sort of thank you, and hopefully they'll enjoy them and hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. If you'd like a copy of this, then as I say, follow the links in the description. But what did I manage to find at the toy fair? Well, on Toy Planet UK's table, Lawrence had this, which is a m.a.s.k jackhammer. I'd actually did a trade with him, so I picked this up off him. It's not in perfect condition, it actually needs a bit of repair, but that's what I like. Some of the rear section here, if we pop that up, you can see the guns are missing and the back of this chair is broken, so it does need a bit of work. And the front mechanism, again, doesn't work particularly well, so that needs some fixing up. But he had that. It also came with the little mask for the figure. Didn't have the figure, but then on another stall I found the figure, so I now have a sort of a complete set of that, and I need to work out how to fix that up. So that was a sort of a good project. I always like to pick up projects. That's one of them. Then from Steve at Vintage 72, who I just mentioned, he happened to have a tri-klops figure, which he sold to me for £3. I don't have tri-klops, so that was quite nice. And it's actually in reasonable condition. It's got a few little rubs on his leg, but I was very pleased to get that one for £3. So that's tri-klops to add to my collection. And then on another stall, I found this. Some of you may know what this is. Tonka has a toy line called Steel Machines. They're not particularly common, and I've only got a couple of the figures, but they had this one, which is the sort of Viking survivor figure. It was listed at £7. I paid £6 for it, and it's actually not in bad condition. It's fairly sort of loose and floppy, but it's a figure I didn't have, and you don't see them very often, so I added that to my collection. In fact, let me get the other two figures I have so you can see what the rest of these guys look like. So here we go. These are the other two figures that I have. I think there's only maybe 8 or so in the collection. Some of them are more sought after than others. One that looks very much like a Mad Max figure, and that's the one that people seem to go for. But I'm happy to get a new one for this collection. They don't turn up particularly often, and £6 for this figure is not bad. So that's all of the things I sort of picked up on the stalls, but I'd also arranged a trade with a good friend of mine, Michael, for some Transformers. So let's take a look at those. And here they are. These are the bits that I'd traded with Michael for. It's a sort of selection of sort of battered and well played with Transformers, but some I didn't have. I don't have a sea spray, so this is not too bad at all. It's missing one part for a propeller, but it'd be nice to add that to my collection. There's also Cosmos, the little sort of UFO one. I don't have that one, so this guy's not in too bad condition. A couple of versions of Mixmaster. This one is, I'm going to say, is an original G1 version, but he's missing an arm. This one to me looks possibly like a knockoff version of him. It just doesn't feel right. The plastic feels different, but he's all complete, so it may be that I take the arm off that one and sort of transplant it onto him until I get another. But so there's a couple of those. There's the remains of a Blastoff missing his wings, but the rest of him's not in bad condition. I really like Blastoff. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll know I have a childhood connection to that, so that's good. And then we have the Headmaster Mind Wipe. I actually have the head for this. I found it in a charity shop, but I didn't have the rest of the figure. So here is the rest of the figure. Again, in reasonable condition. I think there's some problems with the arms. It looks like the little sliders to pull the hands out have broken, but I think those can be repaired. So that's a fun little project. And then the other thing that is not Transformer related that I'd traded with Michael for is the legs for the Stilt Walker, the He-Man Masters of the Universe Stilt Walker. So there's these Stilt Walker legs. I don't have the armour for the figure, but the stilts are quite cool. And I may end up doing some sort of custom with this this. I think I could do something quite funny with it. Not quite sure what, but you know, I've got ideas of things that I could do, and maybe make a sort of Skeletor version of it. So yeah, there's the Stilt Walker stilts. Yeah, it's just a sort of something I didn't have. Oops, not going to stand up. Something I didn't have, but a sort of interesting addition to my Masters of the Universe collection. So overall, it was a really good show. I had a great time. Saw lots of nice people and chatted to lots of nice people, and also managed to pick up a few things in a project. That jackhammer is going to be quite an interesting project. I'm going to have to track down the missing pieces on the back, the guns and the extra gun that sits on it, and yeah, sort out a way of repairing that. So that's going to be a fun project, and it was just really nice to get out. I don't get to these toy fairs as often as I like, and this is the last one for the year, so I had a nice time sort of wandering around, and it was quite interesting to see. In my previous toy hunting video, I showed on a stall that there was a Mattel Battlestar Galactica Viper for £118, and I said it was a crazy price, and guess what, it was still on the stall today. The guy was still selling it, and it was still at £118, and no one had bought it because it's just a crazy price. I imagine the next time I go to that toy fair, it will still be there again. In fact, it's probably something I should start checking every time I go. How long will it be before that Viper sells? Honestly, at that price, I don't think it will ever sell. So we'll be checking that at the next toy fair. And right, last thing before I go, if you haven't already seen it, go and get my annual. I think it's something that everybody will want. In the US, I would call this a book. In the UK, everybody will know exactly what an annual is. As I showed you, it's full of exciting things, all sorts of stuff about toys that I have written, and hopefully it will be something that everybody can enjoy. Links to how to get this will be in the video description. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.